What is up, Dallas Cowboys fans? It's your old friend IndyCar Tim here with the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz. Good Tuesday morning to you. It is Houston Texans post-game edition here on the Daily Blitz. And not a lot went right, really, for either team kind of until late. But the Cowboys in a bad way right now. The stadium's falling apart. The offense is falling apart. The defense fell apart late. And, as far as this season goes, you can just sort of shake your head and grin and bear it, I guess. And there's still a lot of Cowboys football to play is the weird part about all of this. Derek Barnett forced the first fumble and returned the second for a touchdown on the definitive defensive play of the game for the Houston Texans. Joe Mixon did his thing. C.J. Stroud really didn't have to do anything to extend the misery of the Cowboys for another game. Mixon ran for 3 touchdowns to extend his TD streak to 6. Since coming back from an ankle injury, Barnett returned a fumble 28 yards for a score as the Texans beat the Cowboys on Monday Night Football 34-10. The Texans halted just the second 2-game losing streak of C.J. Stroud's young career while they maintained a 2-game lead in the AFC South. Houston pulled away in the second half. A week after they blew that 23-7 halftime lead to the Lions, they did not want that to happen again. They even intercepted Goff 5 times last week and somehow ended up losing that game. That's a very Dallas Cowboys thing to say, kind of. But in a season filled with things gone nothing but wrong for Dallas, you had debris falling from the stadium's retractable roof as it was opening a few hours before the game. Thankfully, no injuries. No delay. Just another mishap to sort of foreshadow the 5th consecutive defeat for a team that's lost 5 games total in each of the past 3 playoff seasons. Cooper Rush threw for 64 yards, including a 64-yard touchdown pass to Kevontae Turpin, but lost his second start since taking over for Dak Prescott after that season-ending hamstring injury. And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Dak was on the sideline when the game started on his crutches and his knee brace. And there was I forgot what play it was. I think it was the interception or fumble return when he almost got nailed on the sideline as he was there on his crutches with his teammates. He almost got nailed on a tackle out of bounds as he had to quickly sort of hop out of the way. And then just a few minutes later, we saw him in the coach's box. So clearly the coach's box is the safest place for Dak Prescott these days, and that's probably where he'll be the rest of the season, I would imagine. The Dallas losing streak is the longest since a 7-game skid back in 2015. The Cowboys dropped to 0-5 at home. Dallas becomes the first team in NFL history to trail by at least 20 points in 6 consecutive home games, including last season's wildcard playoff to Green Bay. The Cowboys were down 10 early in the fourth quarter. Barnett knocked the ball out of Rush's hand as he was throwing. Tyler Guyton caught it and was trying to run when Jalen Petrie knocked the ball loose again. This is why they tell offensive linemen, just fall on the ball. Don't try to run with it. It just looked silly, and that's what happens. Barnett scooped it up, scored, and that was pretty much the definitive defensive play of the game. That was all she wrote for the Texans. That was all we all wrote off the Cowboys after that. Earlier, though, the Cowboys appeared to have pulled within a touchdown on a 64-yard field goal from Brandon Aubrey. Barnett was penalized for tapping Terrence Steele on the helmet. Tapping, slapping, I think they called it a helmet slap was the actual penalty, and it was a penalty by all means. So now, excuse me, I'm getting choked up on this play, obviously. Dallas erased the points, took the penalty. Excuse me, guys. It's early. Dallas erased the points, took the penalty. Rush's 4th down pass from the Houston 8-yard line was incomplete on the only good scoring chance of the second half for the Cowboys. They took 3 points off the board and got none. Look, I get the call. I understand why you do that. I think you're going to take that 10 times out of 10. But on 4th down, The second fourth down you had, I think you got to take the points, right? And you go ahead and just kick the chip shot field goal. I mean, you were on the 8, and I don't know. You know what? I guess there's a couple of ways of looking at it. You don't know if you're going to be there again. So you're trying to get as many points as you can to keep up, but I don't know. I hate taking points off the board and then trading it for obviously 0, which is what the Cowboys did. Texans receiver Nico Collins returned after missing 5 games with a hamstring injury. Took a screen pass 77 yards to the end zone the first time he touched the ball on the first play of the game, only to have it called back because of an ineligible receiver downfield. That possession ended with a touchdown anyway on Mixon's 45-yard sprint up the middle. He ran wide for a 1-yard score and a 14-0 lead. Mixon had 109 yards rushing and set up a field goal with a 37-yard catch and run on a screen. Already without Dak, obviously the Cowboys lost tight end Jake Ferguson to a concussion. You lost Zach Martin. You lost Tyler Smith to ankle injuries. Rush was sacked 5 times, 3 on the same possession when Martin and Smith were injured. And as bad as that offensive line has looked all season long, take Zach Martin out, take Tyler Smith out, and in the immortal words of one former Mavericks coach, Don Nelson, this is going to be a fucking disaster. And that's exactly what it is. Rush was 32 of 55 for 354 yards with a touchdown and an interception. Turpin had 3 catches for 86 yards. Cowboys have Washington on Sunday. It is at Washington at the newly renamed Northwestern Stadium. And I can't think of anything positive to say about the game. We'll preview it later in the week. I can't think of anything positive to say. Hey, guys, look out for this. The Cowboys can do this well. They can kick 64-yard field goals well, I guess. Aubrey even missed a field goal. What was it, a 51-yarder? So just Brian Anger did not have a good game. He had 2 punts of like 40 and 42 yards, and not because he was trying to pin them deep. They weren't even inside the 20 when he kicked those. So everybody just screwing up these days. But it is what it is. If you're a Cowboys fan, start cheering for the losses if you want. Get the highest possible draft pick, and the Cowboys will probably screw up another first-round draft pick like they have the last 2 seasons with Mozzie, or the last couple of seasons with, Mozzie Smith. I'm about ready to give up on Tyler Guyton. I got some flack on social media for that. I know it's early. He's what, 9 games in, 10 games in? Whatever, I get it, but I don't see anything from him. So we'll see. We'll see what Tyler Guyton offers here the rest of the year and moving forward. But it is what it is, and what it is a Dallas Cowboys stink fest right now, boys and girls. It's not fun to watch. It's not fun to talk about. It's not fun to deal with as a fan. But it is what it is. I would like to tell you that things can only get better, as Howard Jones once told us, but I don't think that's true. I think it can still get worse before it gets better. That's just my take. What would you guys think? I'd love to hear what you guys thought. At IndyCar Tim on Threads, on the new Blue Sky app that I'm apparently on now, and of course on the X. Find me on Facebook or here on the YouTube channel. Until next time, boys and girls, we'll see ya.